Welcome to Sonali Stories. Today, I will tell you the story of Sri Omkareshwar and Sri Mamaleshwar. Kaveri ka narmadayo pavitre samagame sajjan taranaya sadaiva mandhatru pure vasantam omkaramisham shivamekabide. One who resides at the confluence of the holy rivers Kaveri and Narmada, who blesses good people with liberation, who lives on the island of Mandatra, Lord Shiva, who is known as Omkareshwar, I bow down to you. Once, Lord Shiva was in deep meditation and he began to sweat. The waters began to collect in a pond. He sweated a lot and this pond began to overflow and it formed the river Narmada. So Narmada is also known as Shankari or daughter of Lord Shankar. It is said that every pebble in Narmada takes the shape of a shivling. Ganga, Yamuna, Godavari, Kaveri and Narmada are considered the five holy rivers of India. Legend says that when Ganga becomes very polluted by the sins of her devotees, she comes in the form of a black cow to bathe and purify herself in the Narmada. The Kaveri river meets Narmada in a holy spot and flows along the Mandata hill for 1.5 miles, flows north and after about 1 mile rejoins Narmada. Omkareshwar Island, also known as Mandata Island, is formed at the confluence of these two holy rivers. The island is in the shape of the letter Om, so it is also known as Omkareshwar. The Skanda Puran, the Shiv Puran, and the Vayu Puran describe this place as a place of pilgrimage since ancient times. Scriptures suggest continuous habitation since 5500 years. There are three main stories related to this Jyotirling. It is said once that Vindhya, the deity of the Vindhyachal mountains, was very proud of his height and his beauty. Once sage Narad came by and he spoke to him very arrogantly. So sage Narad decided to puncture his ego and told him that Mount Meru is even bigger than you. Vindhya wanted to become bigger than the holy Mount Meru. So he began to worship Lord Shiva. He created a geometrical diagram and made lingas of sand and clay. And he did a lot of penance. Lord Shiva was pleased and appeared in two forms, Omkareshwar and Amaleshwar. Vindhya asked for a boon that he would keep growing, and Shiva blessed him. Vindhya began to grow bigger and bigger, bigger and bigger. This became dangerous for the balance of the earth. The Devas went to ask the rishis for help. Sage Agastya agreed to help them. He asked his wife Lopamudra and his children to pack up their entire belongings, and he began walking towards Vindhya. When he reached Vindhya mountains, he stopped and began to look worried. Vindhya asked him, "O holy sage, what is wrong?" So Agastya said that I want to cross over, but you are so tall that I cannot do it. He asked Vindhya to stop growing and to bend down so that he could cross. Once he and his family had crossed, he continued to look worried. So Vindhya asked him, "What is wrong?" Sage Agastya said that I may have to come back in a hurry and I may not have enough time for you to bend down again. Vindhya said, "Okay, I can do one thing. I can stop growing and I can remain like this until you come back." And so Vindhya remained as he was, and Sage Agastya continued to the south, but he never returned, and Vindhya remained at this height. The second story is about King Mandhata of the Ikshvaku clan. The Ikshvaku clan is the one to whom Lord Rama is belonging. It was believed that King Mandhata ruled this island in Satyug. It shone very brightly, and sage Narad was puzzled by this. He asked Lord Shiva, "What is this?" Lord Shiva said that this island would change appearance in every yug. In Satyug, it was a giant sparkling gem. In Treta Yug, it would be a giant mountain of gold. In Dwapar Yug, a mountain of copper, and in Kali Yug, it would be a huge rock. King Mandhata and his sons Ambarish and Mushkunda practiced severe penances here and prayed to Lord Shiva. That is why this island is also known as Mandhata Island. There is a gaddi or a throne of King Mandhata in the temple premises even today. The third story is about a war between the Devas and the Danavas, the demons. The Danavas were winning this war, and it was a major setback for the Devas, who prayed to Lord Shiva for help. Lord Shiva appeared in the form of Omkareshwar. The Devas prayed to Omkareshwar and managed to defeat the Danavas. After this, many devotees came for darshan, and seeing the difficulty of his devotees, the Devas prayed to Lord Shiva. He then manifested himself into two parts, into two Jyotirlings, one on each bank of the river, Omkareshwar on the island and Mamleshwar or Amleshwar on the south bank of the river Narmada on the mainland. There is great importance of doing parikrama around this island. The parikrama path is around 7 kilometers with many ups and downs, and many temples and ashrams on the way. Parikrama can also be done by boat if there is enough water in the river. The great sage Adi Shankaracharya met his guru Sri Govindpada in a cave on this island. The cave can be seen even today below the temple. He started the ritual of doing the parikrama of this island. Many people also do Narmada parikrama, that is, they circumambulate the river Narmada from its source at Amarkantak to its final destination where it meets the Arabian Sea near Bharuch, cross over and go back to Amarkantak. After completing this parikrama, it is said that one has to go to Omkareshwar and pour back the water collected at the beginning from this holy river to complete this entire parikrama. The mandap of the temple is made of 60 solid stone pillars beautifully carved with yakshi figures. A unique thing about this temple is that the Shivling is not below the Shikhar as in all other temples but on the side. Maybe the Shikhar has been built later and the hill did not allow construction above the Shivling. Who knows? Stairs at the back of the temple go up to the Mandhata palace. It's a beautiful palace with remains of glasswork still visible even today. It has a hall with jarokhas or windows from where one can see the top view of the temple and the river Narmada flowing through a deep gorge with beautiful colorful boats plying between its shores. It is said that Shiva and Parvati, after completing the rounds of the three lokas, come here to rest at night. Shayan Arti or night Arti is therefore very important. A bed is laid out for Shiva and Parvati in front of the Shivling, and a game of chaupat is laid out for them to play before they sleep. This Arti is open to the public. On the opposite bank, on the mainland, is the temple of Mamleshwar, also known as Amareshwar, the Immortal One. It is a complex of 7 temples surrounded by mighty stone walls and carved sculptures. There is a magnificent Nandi Mandap outside the main temple. It is said that one must visit both these temples to complete the pilgrimage of this Jyotirling. There is a tradition of Lingarchan, which is a puja of the 1000 Banlingas placed in concentric circles around the main Shivling. Banalingas are Shivlings formed in the river Narmada naturally. It is said, Narmada ke har kankar mein hai Shankar. Every stone of Narmada carries the energy of Shankar. Darshan of Omkareshwar and Mamaleshwar is said to bless one with comfort, peace, and wealth. Om Namah Shivaya.